What's going on? Welcome to the muck video. So today I've got my friend Matt helping me with this one. PPE for muck. You've got your hard hat, safety glasses, sleeves rolled down on your shirt, gloves, long pants, steel caps. Alright, so the way the muck event works, and apologies for any background noise, we've got a training session going on today. You have your cart standing upright at the beginning. 3 runners can run the cart. You have to run it to the end of the track, back up. Once you're back to the end of the track, you release the cart, tip it down, and once it's down, the shovelers can start filling it up. You have 3 shovelers on your team. You can only have 2 shoveling dirt at any one point. Instant disqualification if 3 shovel at the same time. You'll have 2 screeners on the cart. Their role is to hold the cart down and keep moving dirt to the back of the cart as much as they can and keep lifting it up as it gets more full. And once the cart is full, you'll tilt it back up and lock it in. Once that's locked in, your team of 5, all 5 of you can run the cart. You go back down to the end of the track and back up, and that's the event.
So I forgot to mention before, but you'll get 5 minutes prep time for your muck pile. So that's basically building up really high, right where you want your dirt to be in front of the cart, ready to shovel. So as we get going here, you've got 3 people pushing the cart to start with while it's empty. As we get to the end of the track, you'll see us braking. That's because if you hit that backstop too hard, and that's decided by the judge, it's a 20-second penalty for every time it happens. So be super careful when you're coming into those backstops. Screeners lower the cart now and they start shoveling. 2 shovelers at any one time. If there's 3, you're disqualified, so be careful of that one. In terms of screening, the screeners are only handling the dirt within the cart. If a screener tries to take dirt from the muck pile, they'll get 1 warning, and after that, it's a 20-second penalty every time it happens. So be super careful of that screeners, only touch the dirt in the cart. At this point, I'll also talk about a strong recommendation from us, and that's to use timings for subbing out your shovelers. I've seen teams go until somebody is exhausted, and it can really, really hurt those teams' times at the end of the day. You want to be sprinting as much as you can. Now, as the cart fills up, the screeners are tilting it up and up and up, keeping that dirt to the back. And once they get to a point where they just can't hold that cart anymore, they'll tip it up into place. Yaku got in the way of that, but there's basically 2 latches on each side that you hook into place, and that cart's now good. That's super important because if you run that cart without locking those latches in, that is a 30-second penalty. Also, if PPE falls off any member of the team during this competition and the team doesn't stop, that will be an immediate disqualification for the team as well. So Yaku's stepped off here because his ankle's a bit injured at the moment, so he's not running the cart with us, but you would be able to run that with all 5 members of your team in competition. Being super careful to not go in front of the plane of the cart, which Matt will explain very shortly.
Awesome. So as Will said before, one of the penalties is pulling the front of the cart. So any action like this will get you disqualified. Obviously we've got the front plane of the cart, everything has to be behind the front, nothing in front of that sort of plane there. You can sort of go in there with the, whatever that's called, the frame, and you can push like that, but yeah, no pulling in front of the cart, and clearly no feet or hands or limbs wherever the cart will be moving. That especially comes down to when you're clearing at the end. Obviously you've got to clear the dirt to give yourself clean passage. So obviously you need to make sure everyone's behind the plane of the cart before you start pushing when the cart is full.
So as you're finishing up, it'll be on the judge's call when you can go, not your call. So you have to wait for them to tell you you're good to go. Once they give that shout, you'll see us drop our shovels, and then we dive into the tracks. That's just clearing the dirt out front of the wheels. It makes it really, really hard to push if you don't do that. So making sure you've got POSCOMs during that, stay safe, make sure everyone's hands are out of the way before you start pushing. You'll also have noticed that I tossed the shovel behind me. That's just a safety thing as well, making sure no one hits it when we get back and braking. Make sure no one trips over or harms themselves. So one last bit about the rules. You'll see here, as we get going, the cart comes off the tracks. That's classed as a derailment, so that's an immediate disqualification for the team. To try and avoid it as best you can, it's essentially termed as if you can see daylight under the wheels at any point. So be really, really careful of that one. When you're pushing, push forwards and down, don't push forwards and up, because that's what's going to lift that cart off the tracks. So also wanted to mention, you can see both our screeners in this video are wearing face masks. So essentially, if the dirt is dry, hasn't been raining recently, it will kick up a lot of dust, and that's just to try and reduce any dust getting into your lungs, make it a bit easier for you to breathe. I believe you'll be getting one of these masks in your competitor pack, so you've got one, wear it on the day, really encourage it.
So just a couple of tips and tricks for shoveling. Obviously, muck is a sprint, not a marathon. So when we're going in, we don't want to be shoveling with our arms like that. You're going to fatigue really quickly if you're just doing that. What you want to do, nice solid base, dig yourself in at the start and use your leg as a lever, right? We want to be pushing down, using our legs, chucking it in. If Will just wants to come over here, when we do shovel, we sort of have this circle here. Anything within there is quite good. It's easy for the screeners to chuck back into the corner, but obviously at the start you want to be hitting those corners so the screeners have an easy time.
Right, so these are the results from Brisbane last year. Some pretty good times there. Expect about the same, I would say. Women's, then men's, then mixed. So yeah, that's the video. Good luck with your competition. Stay safe. Make sure to practice those POS comms. Yeah, best of.